Good evening, I'm Brendan Miller. Thank you for joining us. Kawetanung MPP Sol Mwamakwa was busy at Queen's Park this week, challenging the Ford government over Bill 5. The proposed legislation would give the province new powers to develop mining areas such as the Ring of Fire. Indigenous leaders strongly opposed it, and the government agreed to make amendments to ensure First Nations are consulted. Mwamakwa wants the bill scrapped altogether, and he questioned the government at Queen's Park about its commitment to treaties.
This is what some of the First Nations are saying. We signed treaties because you could not beat us. We are not a conquered nation. We signed treaties because we decided we can live together. We are Treaty 9 signatories, not stakeholders. Our ancestors did not give away our lands to be taken by government. To the Premier, will your government uphold the treaties and Aboriginal title?
Our government respects First Nation and treaty rights under Section 35 of the Constitution and is committed to fulfilling its duty to consult. Our government, by fulfilling the duty to consult, fosters strong Indigenous relationships, supports reconciliation, and promotes prosperity. Clear, transparent consultation fosters stronger First Nations relationships and a more stable business environment, enhancing economic opportunities. Speaker, we want to be clear. The proposed legislation is about unlocking Ontario's true economic potential, not overriding Indigenous rights or environmental safeguards. The duty to consult will not be compromised as part of this process.
Thunder Bay's Director of Development Services says the city is experiencing a major surge in construction permits and could see a record high for total permit values in 2025. Joel DePoiter says the city has created the right conditions for growth, with many big-ticket projects happening in the months ahead. Jonathan Wilson reports.
Joel DePuter is a happy guy these days, although he's also a little swamped at the city development office.
Very busy, exceptionally busy, and so here we are. We're midway through the spring. I think we're already approaching last year's total construction value with the amount of permits that have been issued and things that are out processing right now. So, certainly looks like we're going to be, reaching potentially new modern records by the end of the year. So it's pretty exciting.
The most expensive project started in Thunder Bay in 2025 is the regional hospital's long-awaited new cardiovascular surgery unit. Tom Jones Corporation won the $78.5 million contract in late December. The new two-story addition on the hospital's west side will house a 76,000 square foot cardiac surgery wing. The project is expected to be completed in 2028. DePuter says there are some other big-ticket builds, expansions, and renovation projects on the horizon.
There are large permits that are under review or issued related to the Victoriaville revitalization project. So some of these buildings being upgraded and then Victoriaville being removed. There's large hangar addition at the airport. The Fit for Less renovations at Intercity Mall. There are no number of apartment buildings that have been issued. Hotels. There's a very large list of large projects underway, and more expected before the end of the year.
DePuter says so far this year, there have already been nearly 300 permits issued, and he points out they were not even at the busiest part of the season for construction. As for residential growth, DePuter is expecting to beat last year's new housing unit total, as permits are up about 40% over this same time in 2024.
Thunder Bay is growing. I think the numbers show that Thunder Bay is growing, I think that growth is accelerating. We're seeing those, the housing accelerator files certainly doing what was intended to do. Thunder Bay is a very affordable place to live. It does not have development charges, which is unique to Thunder Bay. This is something that's a large upfront cost to developers elsewhere, and Thunder Bay has that unique, it's a unique thing to offer that Thunder Bay does not have development charges.
And as for that proposed retail warehouse and gas bar at 1091 Central Avenue that everyone is speculating about, DePuter says he doesn't have a permit application for it yet, and he can't predict when it might be submitted.
Well, I know there's a lot of eyes on that development, and I do expect when we receive a building permit, that'll be in the media.
Jonathan Wilson, TBT News.
Friday afternoon was a rally that was held in front of Patty Haidu's office for a local boy, Zephyr Bouchard. He is 8 years old and from Fort William First Nation. Tragically, he was born with a catastrophic brain hernia and is struggling to find treatment. Emma Chilton has the story.
Residents gathered in support of Zephyr, and ralliers could be seen with banners and holding up signs. Dispute numerous meetings, formal requests, and public appeals made by his parents to both First Nation authorities and the public healthcare system. No action has been taken. Zephyr's mother, Kira Michelle, says jurisdictional disputes between the two systems have left Zephyr in a state of limbo, with neither side assuming responsibility for his care.
And it was a treatment that was possible for him, but it was something he was never able to access in Canada. We did take him out of country into the States for assessments and healthcare to see if treatment was available for him. And we learned a lot of things there that was really difficult to process as a parent. Not only was Zephyr able to get treatment, he could have had treatment even as a baby. So his 8 years of suffering and pain was really preventable.
Gathering outside of Patty Haidu's office, Michelle hopes this will raise awareness for his condition.
I've also had a meeting with Patty Haidu some years back regarding Zephyr's need to access healthcare. That was back in 2020. So here we are 5 years later. We still didn't get the treatment he needed. And Zephyr does need care. Living most of his life on reserve with a brain hernia and not accessing treatment that was available, to me that's really talks about a lot of systemic issues that we're dealing with as Indigenous people in Northern Ontario trying to access proper health care.
Michelle says she wants the debate to end and for Zephyr to receive proper health care and medical treatments.
We don't want to hear any more debates about his life. He has a right to be here. That's his story, and he gets to choose his own story. He gets to write his own story, and nobody's going to write him off anymore. People have to know that he has a right to be here no matter what.
Emma Chilton, TBT News.
The Thunder Bay Border Cats stopped by a Colgrane-Morgan public school yesterday to teach kindergartners about the importance of physical activity and healthy living. Ryan Graham has more.
By encouraging young students to start developing their athletic skills at an early age, the Border Cats are not only helping to develop future athletes, they are also acting as role models for youth here in Thunder Bay. Early childhood educator Emily Willadall was very pleased the team came to Grand-Morgan.
Today's about connecting with the community, working on their coordination, the athleticism. Our kids really love to be active and they love sports, so we thought what better opportunity than to partner with a community like this. They'll be coming back again in a few weeks and hopefully our skills will improve by then for us to try again.
The Cats plan to be out in the community a bunch this summer, inspiring young student athletes to find their coordination early in life. The team's field manager, Joe Ellison, and pitcher Grant Ferris felt the day was a tremendous success, and they are looking forward to coming back again soon.
Today's about the community, getting around the kids and having our players interact with the community as best as we possibly can and try and create a few more baseball players in Thunder Bay if we can. I hope they're having fun. I think they are, and I think that's the biggest thing when you're trying to get kids into sports is having fun and starting to enjoy the for lack of a better term, the fun of it. I mean, just, be kids and have some fun.
Yeah, it's great. I remember when I was young and I was coming out to all these camps and stuff, and I really looked up to all these guys out here. So, it's always good to give back now that I'm in that kind of position, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
Ryan Graham, TBT News.
Our Kids Count and the Cam River Fighting Walleye joined forces for a fundraising event at Fort William Historical Park with the Cam River Ultimate Duck Race. The event was a family fun day that was free of admission. And the event featured family-friendly activities and the duck race. The race did not go as planned, and Kids Count fundraiser coordinator Sonia Kruger says it will take about an hour to collect the ducks and start over.
So we put on this fundraiser because we really wanted to start off summer on the right foot. We wanted to create a fun, free family event while also raising funds for families in the community. We did partner with the Cam River Fighting Walleyes, so they've been participating the whole time. And yeah, it's a great way to kick off the summer. So a couple of hours before the duck race, we did do a trial. The river was going the right way. We had a winner. It was great as a trial, of course. And then when we did it for real, unfortunately, the river changed directions on us. So we are now collecting the ducks, and we will restart the race, and this time, hopefully, with the right situation in place, and we'll have a clear winner.
The winner of the race and $10,000 was Jackie Gale with duck number 104. More than a dozen rallies are being held across the country by postal workers over stalled contract negotiations between Canada Post and the union representing thousands of workers. This as the federal jobs minister is considering forcing the union members to vote on whether they would accept Canada Post's final offer. CTV's Kamil Karamali reports.
This rally in Brampton being held by the Postal Workers Union, one of roughly dozen taking place across the country. Postal workers have invited friends and family members to join them in this protest called Hands Off My Post Office. It's in response to the impasse the workers' union has hit with Canada Post after both sides have been trying to negotiate a new contract for more than 18 months. In the latest strike action, the union has said its 55,000 workers will not work overtime. A major sticking point in the negotiations have been wages and weekend work. Canada Post said it is sticking to its proposal for a 14% cumulative wage hike and part-time staff on weekends, and is now asking the federal jobs minister to force a union membership vote on the proposal it put forward earlier this week, while the union's negotiator says he's frustrated that Canada Post doesn't appear to want to negotiate.
Canada Post doesn't want to negotiate a deal. They've used every trick in the book to make it so they're in this situation, and now they're going to ask for a vote. That vote does not mean that this labor dispute is over. If the members were to vote down these collective agreements, we end up however long that takes, we end up sitting in the exact same spot we are today.
It is respectful to our employees, 55,000 employees represented by Cup W, to allow them to have a voice, to participate in a vote that would be run by the Canada Industrial Relations Board that is free and independent of both parties.
The federal jobs minister will now have the task of deciding whether to go ahead with that membership vote. Kamil Karamali, CTV News, Brampton, Ontario.